Picture this. You're sitting across from someone at the diner and they're leaning in with eyes locked on you like you are the only person in the world. The waiter then drops off the check and they wave it away without even looking at it. And then they say things like, I've never felt this way before. You're not like anyone I've ever met. Honestly, I could see myself marrying you. And this is just on the second date. And what happens then is your brain lights up like Times Square on New Year's Eve. Every childhood wish, every rom-com scene, and every love song suddenly makes sense to you in that exact moment. And it just feels like destiny. But what if I told you that this was not destiny? What if I told you instead of destiny, it's actually a trap that's designed to hook your nervous system before you've even had time to notice the red flags that are just waving in the background? What that is love bombing. And in this deep dive, we're just going to pull it all apart. We're going to look at the psychology, the patterns, the biochemistry, the cultural scripts that make it feel irresistible, and the heartbreak that it almost always leaves behind. When someone showers you with affection, your body literally rewards you. And it rewards you by your dopamine spiking, oxytocin gets flooded, your cortisol drops, and then it feels like safety. It feels like being chosen. Just think of it like a casino slot machine. Every ding of the text notification just feels like a win to you. And every I miss you feels like the jackpot. And you just keep pulling that lever, waiting for that next rush. And if you've ever felt unseen or unworthy in the past, this rush doesn't just feel good. This rush, it feels healing. Like a wound you've carried for years. It's finally being kissed better. And that's why smart, grounded, capable people fall for love bombing. Because it's not stupidity, it's neuroscience. So let's get real about attachment. If you're an anxiously attached person, then love bombing feels like oxygen to you. It feels like finally someone who doesn't leave you guessing. And if you're avoidant attachment, then even you can get pulled into the love bombing because the intensity of love bombing forces you to drop your defenses. And if you're a disorganized attachment, that chaos that comes with love bombing feels so familiar to you. Not safe, but recognizable. It's like someone speaking your nervous system's first language. And love bombers often start turning you into a character in their fantasy, not just attractive to them. You're the most beautiful soul that they have ever seen. And you're not just fun to them. You're the missing piece that they've been searching for their entire life. And that can be so intoxicating. But that doesn't mean that it's intimacy. What that is projection. Think of it like a director casting you in a film that they've already written. They don't actually see you. What they see is the role that you are playing for them. And the second that you step out of character, the script, it flips. And then that switch happens. That switch from them keeping you on the pedestal to them now punishing you. So one week they're just texting you nonstop, and the next, silence. 1 minute they're holding your hand and whispering to you forevers. And then the next minute they're criticizing your outfit or rolling their eyes when you speak. And this right here, it's not an accident. What it is them conditioning you. It's like training a dog with treats and punishment. What they're doing is they're wiring your nervous system to crave approval and then to panic when that disappears. And that right there is how trauma bonds begin. And you might be asking yourself, why does it feel impossible to leave this type of situation? So let me explain this to you in plain language. When there's those highs, then you get rewarded with the dopamine. And then when there's lows, the cortisol crashes. And then when there's a reunion between you two, you get flooded with oxytocin. And that right there, that's the same cycle of drug addiction. And just like addiction, those withdrawals feel unbearable. So when people say to you, why didn't you just leave? What they don't understand is that this situation is not just heartbreak. It's biochemical captivity. And then here's the cruelest part of it all. When you actually start to notice those inconsistencies, because there will always be inconsistencies, the lies, the double standards, what they do is they twist it. They'll say things to you like, you're just remembering it wrong, or you're too sensitive, or you're overthinking everything. And gaslighting, it makes you question your own reality. And once you start to doubt your own instincts, then they can run the entire show. And for so many people, love bombing reactivates an old story within them. It reactivates the parent who is warm one day and cold the next day. It reactivates the caregiver who gave affection only when you performed. It reactivates a family where love was conditional. And that right there is why it cuts so deep. It's not just this relationship, it's every attachment wound that it touches. And we look around and we can see love bombing everywhere. And not just in dating apps, but in the celebrity culture as well. Just think about the whirlwind Hollywood romances that crash within months. Think those viral TikTok couples who stage over-the-top proposals just after 3 weeks of being together. The culture celebrates intensity. It sells us this fairy tale, not the slow, steady love that actually lasts. So let's bring in a little case study here. We'll use this person, we'll call her Jess. So Jess is a 34-year-old who just comes to my office crying tears. And then she tells me, he told me that I was his soulmate. And he booked a trip for us to go to Italy just after 2 weeks of being together. He introduced me to his mother after 1 month, and then nothing. He just ghosted me. And I just feel insane. Like, I imagined this whole thing. But you know what? Jess didn't imagine it. What happened is that she was love bombed, and her pain was real. And her healing started with understanding that. So step 1 of healing is to name it, because healing begins the moment you say something like, that wasn't love. What that was manipulation. And that sentence right there changes everything, because it shifts the shame from you to the actual tactic. And then step 2 is to learn to regulate your nervous system, because you can't outthink a trauma bond. You have to outregulate the trauma bond. So try breathing, move your body, ground your senses, because every time you calm your system, you weaken that bond. Step 3 is to create boundaries as an armor, because in the future, boundaries are your shield. Because love that is real, it respects peace. It respects the word no, and it respects your life outside of the relationship. And if someone tries to bulldoze those boundaries with gifts, grand gestures, or guilt, then that's not romance. What that is a red flag. Step 4 is the self-trust and take love slow. The deepest wound of love bombing is that it makes you doubt yourself. And healing means learning to listen to your gut again, to trust that whisper inside of you that says, this feels too fast, this feels off. And then choosing slow, reciprocal love, the kind that grows steadily, not explosively. So if you've been love bombed, I want you to hear me clearly. It's not because you were weak. It's not because you were desperate. It's because you were human. It's because you wanted love. And you deserve the kind of love that doesn't come with a crash. The kind that feels safe on Tuesday morning and not just magical on Saturday night. And that kind of love, it is out there.